With a big cat hoop. My name is Prolific-Abdullah. I'm a thought leader, cultural architect, builder, and I'm here today. I'm gonna talk about protect the intellect society. I'm gonna give you a little bit of brand awareness, and I'm gonna go into this philosophy because I think this philosophy is so important. Because we live in a society where we hear that America is falling, morality is falling. And in order to restore that morality, we have to preserve the thing that keeps us going and keeps us thriving. And that thing is the intellect. The intellect is responsible for progressing our society. Therefore, we must protect the intellect. If we do not protect our intellect, we are liable to be a fallen society that no longer operates on truth or no longer have human value or moral values, or even have the ability to discern what's right or what's wrong. We need to stray away from immorality and learn how to protect ourselves and preserve ourselves. We need to have the ability to preserve our identity, our culture. We need to have the ability to preserve truth and recognize truth. There's so much deception going on, you don't even know what's truth. We've been told that truth is whatever you think it is. And that's the biggest lie ever told. To sit here and say truth is whatever you think it is. The problem with that principle or that idea is that there will not be no laid foundation. Because the reality is everybody thinks different. Everyone comes from different views. That is a reality. So if you say that truth is whatever you think, there's literally no reason to build. You won't be able to build because you won't start from a familiar foundation. Nor will you even start. There will just be wars on differences. Everybody comparing themselves to the next person or why their view was better, but no universal truth. We need to learn how to get to universal truth, yo. What is the universal truth? How do you do it? How do you dissect it? How do you allow universal truth to carry out through your mind and out through your life? This is something that's missing in the spirit. This is something that is missing within our lives. And if we can restore this cultural truth, this universal truth, this foundational truth that everybody can operate on, we can advance our society forward. If you haven't already, subscribe to New World Television Network. You will have more content about what I do, about who I am. I'm a cultural architect. I'm a cultural leader. I'm a thought leader. I think from a cosmic perspective. It's so important that we think from a cosmic perspective because our perspectives can be so small and limited. We have to learn how to take a step outside of ourselves. And when we start to take a step outside of ourselves, we can see all the things that have been affecting our perspective. The issues that we go through on a daily can be solved if we learn how to take a step back. Take a step back. Have a cosmic view. Matter of fact, you are the cosmos. You are the universe. So if you're able to master that view, you will have the ability to master yourself. You'll have the ability to master yourself. This video is about protecting the intellect and preserving our intellect. Because when you preserve the intellect, you preserve society. You preserve truth. You preserve culture. You preserve values. You preserve your morality. We got to get to a point where we're no longer stuck in our indifferences. We've been pulled away from different entities so that we won't progress. No, I had enough of it. You ain't had no enough of it yet? I want to progress. Things need to be challenged. Things need to be challenged in advance. So protect the intellect, right? And this whole idea comes from the influence of really Wu-Tang, right? Wu-Tang and just real hip hop, that spirit, I want to bring that into the intellectual world where they were influenced with karate and the Islamic influence, and just wanting to promote what's righteous and what's good for the people, right? And they had that toughness within them to do that. You know, they had this swag to them as they were doing it. And I want to bring that into the intellectual world, because it's cool to be smart now. It's always been a thing, but like when you watch TV, they turn it down. They turn it down. You get what I'm saying? So we want to get to a point where, like, culturally, we're promoting what's smart, what's intelligent, what's respectful. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more content. Subscribe to my Instagram, Prolific_Abdullah, PROLIFIC_ABDULLAH. Get me on Instagram. I promote a lot of content on there. There's a lot of positive. So protect the intellect society. So the way I'm gonna break this down right here, right? Look, the way I'm gonna break this down, protect the intellect, is through a cipher etymology. See, the reason I love the cipher etymology is that it gets you closer to the truth of the original meaning of the word. And it also evolves your understanding of what the word is. When you evolve your understanding, the word now becomes a concept and a reality that you can start to live in. And you become a disciple within that reality. To be disciplined is to be a disciple. And a disciple studies. They study the principles, the character, the understanding, and they embody that. So right now we universal disciples. You hear me? Put under the chat, yeah, universal disciples. We are universal disciples. That's the laws of the righteous. The cosmos is submissive. That's Islam. Don't dismiss it. Right? That's what we on. So protect the intellect society. Protect means, when you hear the word protect, pro is a when you hear the word pro, it's not a con. For say, it is a positive. Right? Pro it's a positive. Then you hear the word tech. You hear the word tech, and what does tech mean? It's to anticipate. It's to anticipate impact. We're anticipating impact. Why? Because there are entities, there are corporations, companies, whatever you may want to call it, that are going to attack your mind. They're going to what? They're going to attack your mind. They're doing it now. They're taking away your focus. They're making sure that your brain is nutrient deficient, not allowing you to be productive. They're giving you false information. And when you're given false information and you're not given the tools to dissect what's true and what's right, you can fall into the pits of hell. See, the word knowledge is to know the edge so you don't fall off. Words are limited. They have boundaries. So knowledge, right, has boundaries. Once you fall off that boundary, you're falling on to the pits of hell, meaning that you're going to go astray. You're going to fall into misunderstanding. You're going to fall into the place that you shouldn't have walked into. So it keeps you protected in a way so that you can preserve yourself, preserve your life in a way that's high quality. All right, protect yourself. How do you protect yourself? Well, these systems, these entities have systems, and they got systems built upon the system. So what you have to do, what you got to think about is, what system do you partake in on a day-to-day basis to protect your what? Intellect. To protect your intellect, right? If you have a company or an entity that's attacking you through food, what do you have to do? You have to counter that. You have to think about what foods that they have, what foods are they attempting you to give, and what foods do you need to eat to make sure you give yourself the proper nutrients. Because a lot of us is vitamin deficient. We have a lot of ADHD brains. We have a lack of focus. We have a loss of testosterone, chemical imbalance, because these entities are promoting food that are not to they don't bring human capital, they just bring in capital, but not human capital. They bring in capital, but not human capital. And there's a difference. To have human capital is to bring value to the marketplace that advances the human's integrity. If we're not looking in businesses where we're not investing in human integrity, we need to rethink about what we're doing. We need to think about our intentions. Because business should be done in a way to supply a demand to help as society move forward. If it's not, it's problematic. Is human capital like human lowercase? I don't know what you mean by that. Human capital should increase the currency and the value of the human. Right? If you have a problem, you got an issue, there should be businesses that solve that issue for you, not just to profit from you, but actually put you in a better situation. So that's human capital. Right? We need to move with that type of intention and that type of spirit to solve problems. This is what I call Christ-like minded, or to have taqwa in Islam. We shouldn't just get into business as to sell our product. Yes, it's good to make money, but we have to come in with the intention of solving real people's problems and positioning them in a better position. This is how you build networks. This is how you increase value. This is how you protect culture. This is how you protect your values and your morals. These things don't vanish if you keep these things in mind. But if you only want to just sell and sell and sell and sell, you haven't truly been beneficial to the people that you need to be beneficial to. Right? So we need to think about businesses that go against the food corporations that give us these chemical imbalance. So we need to start opening up fruit spots, veggie stores, late night veggie spots. Bro, imagine that nighttime when you thriving, or you want a snack, and instead of going to the gas station and getting some chocolate, you get some strawberries. See, this would change our whole mindset. Imagine late night, we getting some strawberries, some fruit bowls, instead of going to IHOP, instead of eating a burger. This would change our whole living cycle. It would change our ability to be productive. Because the reason why we have not been productive, or one of the reasons, is because of this. It's because of the chemical imbalances. Right? We want to become a productive society. In order to do that, we have to protect certain things that allow us to do that, that allow us to flourish in that manner. Right? Protect. Well, how else should we protect? Well, this whole infrastructure, right? I remember I was reading this book called Stolen Focus by Johan Hari. Y'all should read that book. Stolen Focus. And it was about how Japan's infrastructure was built to do what? To accommodate healthy living. Everywhere was made to walk. The people are the highest or the healthiest people on earth. They eat, they walk, they meditate. There's stairs everywhere. As if in America, where our infrastructure, depending on what city you're in, is mostly made to drive. And a lot of things are made to be convenient for us. Therefore, affecting our health, affecting our mental, affecting how productive we become. Right? Everything is fast-paced and not slow-paced, as if Japan is slow-paced. And that even the slow pace respects the mind, because the conscious mind is only can handle 8 to 12 bandwidth. We think our minds are computers, but they're not. Our subconscious mind can take about trillions bytes per second, but that's the subconscious. Because of the sensories it has to pick up and everything in its environment, right? You got different senses that pick up as well, but your conscious mind is totally different. Japan is slow paced. I'm gonna say not like Tokyo, right? But Japan is slow paced in the sense of compared to America. I love Japan's infrastructure because they have a different value system. I love that tech culture is very advanced, but their people value cleanliness, meditation. So that's what I mean by that. slow pace in that in the mental environment. And you see it in their philosophies. Like when you look at the Japan philosophies, that's what it's about. Now, the next thing is this. Our whole infrastructure is built in America to do the opposite. So what am I trying to say? There's infrastructure right now that is built to take away your focus. You got all these social media companies fighting for your attention. And the thing about your attention is limited. It's limited. And they know it. And they're trying to take it away from you. When they take that away from you, what they are able to do then is to predict you. To keep you on there. Because now you're feeding them information and data about yourself. About who you are, what you are. They're able to manipulate you in a way that you couldn't even imagine. They're able, what you call magic, make you take a left. And when you take that left, they can make you make another left and make sure you make another left when you take that left into a right. Because they know everything about you. They have dossiers about you. They have data about you. That's what the company sells, is information. And no one is being held account to that. Nobody's being held account to respect that human morale of keeping our attention span right. Because if we lose our attention span, we lose the ability to think. When we lose the ability to think, we won't be able to think about policies that help us. We won't be able to hold a government accountable when they're oppressing us. Nor will we be able to solve a problem long enough as a collective to move us forward. So there's so many domino effects if we don't get this correct, right? We have to protect the intellect. What is the intellect? Well, the intellect is the man. It is the mind, right? The human. The human is the intellect. The human is the mind. Man means mind, and the mind is the intellect, and the intellect is responsible for progressing society. How did I come to this conclusion? Well, there's this tool that I use. I call it intuitive breakdown. And in my intuitive breakdown, I'll look at words, and what it allows me to do is extract the different words within the words and extract the meanings of those words, and it gives me a bigger concept of what this word means actually. Right? So in the word intellect, you hear the word in, you hear the word tell, you hear the word elect, you hear the word intellect. You can form different words with those words as well. You can form the word antenna or telly. Right? So the word intellect, you hear the word in, which is represents inside. Then you hear the word tell, which is a story being told. Tele, like a telegram or a teleport, it's really or an antenna. Antenna is a signal that picks up everything around you in your environment, and even that forms a story. So the intellect, what is it doing? What is the mind doing? It's picking up information that's inside. It's picking up information that's on the outside of you, and it's forming a story. What does it do with the story, though? Well, it elects. So in the word intellect, you hear the word elect, E-L-E-C-T, meaning it selects what's the best information from that information. So whatever you tell yourself internally, whatever you see externally, it forms a story. Then that story allows you to make decisions. You pick and choose the decisions you make through what you've been told, through what you're informed of. You don't do things that you're not informed of, right? And it is in our human nature to pick the best information. Because like when you go shopping for a car, you buy the best car. When you go shopping for clothes, you buy the best clothes. Housing, buy the best house. It's in our nature to select the best thing for ourselves. So this is what the mind is doing. It's picking the best information it has access to, and is using that information to push the society forward. This is beautiful, bro. This is valuable information because this tells you how you work. This is knowledge itself. To have knowledge itself is to know who you are from a psychological level. It's to know how your psychological purpose or your skills and your strength benefit the society. It also is to know what you're made out of. So you're made from earth. Why is that important? First of all, God tells us we're made from earth, right? And earth is part of the cosmos. So therefore, you are the cosmos. You are the universe. We're told that the universe is always expanding and growing. That is directly telling you that you're always expanding and you're growing. This is what the intellect is doing. It's always expanding and it's always growing. Understand that. This is you. This is what you are. Accept that. Live in that. The earth rotates. It needs light. You need light. You need information. It needs water. You need water. It goes through different seasons. You go through different seasons. This is literally you. If it cultivates seeds, it protects seeds, so those seeds can turn into productive trees or plants for the nature. See, the seed that you have and you possess is a seed up here. Your ideas are fertile. Your ideas are what? They're fertile and they create realities. And if you're able to harvest idea and protect your ideas, you're able to benefit society. This is how we build our civilization, protecting the intellect. Let's say if I had an idea, whatever that idea may be, in order to plant a seed and for that seed to flourish, that seed needs to be put in a healthy environment. So in order for you to flourish, you need to put yourself in a healthy environment. Now, when you start to put yourself in a healthy environment, going back to intellect and picking up stories, you start to pick up stories that are more beneficial. Again, giving you access to new information so that you can select better information and create better outcomes for your life. See how this is all tied together with this cipher? It's all connected. It's nothing separated. I may miss some things, but I ain't gonna get through everything. Human just like you, B. Human just like you, you know. I seek some, deceive none. And each one must teach one. And one must flow to show the structure of freedom is me done. These petty things, we don't need them. Let's focus to create something great for all to seize them. Come on, bro. What y'all know about that guru, that gangstar, man? RP guru. RP guru, bro. But let's protect the intellect. Let's preserve our culture. Right? The intellect is what advances us forward. In order to advance forward, we have to protect these ideas that advance us forward. We have to nurture these ideas that advance us forward. We have to give it sunlight. We got to put it in healthy soil. And that's where the society comes in, because we have to do it together. Can't do nothing on our own. Can't do nothing on your own. Allah says the one that thinks he's self-sufficient is the one that transgressed all boundaries. Only Allah is self-sufficient, and only He does not depend on anything else. But we depend on a lot of things, on everything, basically. You wouldn't live without water or air or oxygen, whatever you may call it, trees, other animals, bees, other human beings. Again, you're made from earth, and the earth is part of the cosmos. When you observe the cosmos, the earth is rotating around the axis, but it needs the sun to keep that gravitational force. It's following the discipline. And the sun is rotating something else. So the sun needs something else. So the sun, moon, and stars, they're all different entities, but they need each other for it to function the way that it's currently functioning in. Again, your earth. So you need other things to function as well for you to function in a healthy way. This is what I'm trying to tell you. If you haven't already, bro, follow and subscribe New World Television Network. It's about producing a new mind for society. We're producing a new reality, a reality that's healthy, a reality that preserves our human morality. We're going into a direction of love, of cultivation, of greatness. I'm going to be doing these lives till I get 1,000 subscribers. Get me to 1,000 subscribers, yo. Y'all can do it. Get me to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. Let's push this forward. Let's push this movement forward. Join the movement. You have any intellectual ideas, let's talk about it. Let's collaborate. Let's be productive. Right? Let's be productive. Going back to the idea of you can't do nothing by yourself, you can't. So this idea, oh, I got it on my own, I don't need nobody help, it's false. It's just not true. We literally need each other. The food that you got, that you bought, somebody had to set up that store. Somebody had to build the business infrastructure. Somebody had to build the shelves that were in that store. Somebody had to build the business or the company to connect with the farmer. See, the farmer planted the food and somebody had to connect with the farmer. Somebody had to bring the truck from the farmer into the store. Somebody had to take out the food from the truck into the farmer. There's so many systems in place that help us, that show us that we need each other. You literally can't do nothing on your own. The house you live in, you ain't built it. The car you in, you ain't built it. The phone that I got, I ain't built it. You ain't built it. We literally need each other. So we need to understand that, and when we understand that, we can show each other to show human love, the true human love that we all deserve. We all deserve true human love, man. Take that. Don't wait for somebody to give you that. Take that. Give it. Live it. Be it. That is the human destiny. That is the human what? That is the human destiny. Can't do nothing on your own. We got to do it together. So we got to plant seeds. We have to plant seeds. And these seeds are the guiding principles that move us forward. Right? It needs to have this spirit of cultivation, this spirit of growth, where no matter what time, space, continuum that we're in, we're always advancing. We're always pushing through. We're always going through. And we're going through with righteousness. We're going through with taqwa, which is consciousness of Allah, consciousness of God. And this is the harmony. This is the rhythm that we're flowing through with. This is how we're going to do it. And you see the words, and that's the word sow in society. Sow, you have to plant that seed. You have to plant that spirit. And that spirit represents growth. It represents the rhythm that we want. Again, this is the inner essence of this. When you plant a seed, right, like an orange seed and an apple seed are two different type seeds. Why? Because there's a DNA implanted in those seeds that allow it to produce what it produces. So as a society, right, we have to sow and plant seeds. And in that seed, it animates growth. It animates taqwa. It animates cultivation and protection of the human family. And we do it as a collective. We do it as a collective consciousness. We have proper vision. We believe in proper vision. I believe in correct perception. If you have the incorrect perception, you're going to get to the incorrect conclusion. What is the incorrect conclusion? Anything that strays away from Allah. Anything that strays away from the plan of Allah, the plan of God. Right? In this society, inside society, you hear it in civic. Right? So this cultivates responsibility, a duty, a shared governance amongst each other. And this is what sets us in motion. Because we then start to take responsibility of the things that we had planted and have set. Anytime a gardener plants seeds, it don't stop there. It does not stop there. He has to keep going. Understand that. And ETY on society is the custom, the values that we put inside that original seed, the fabric, the condition that we're in. Right? A society is a structured living organism. That's what it is. And there's multiple different parts and that cultivate to it. The society is the soul, the quality of that soul, the awareness of that soul, right? So we have to protect the intellect. We have to preserve our way of living. All right? That's what I'm here for, man. I'm here to push greatness, man. I'm gonna let y'all know righteousness is the new currency. It ain't just about money. It's about positive human capital. It's about how can I serve my next human. If I'm going to profit from my next human, I'm going to make sure I profit in a way that brings value to them and inspires them to also be great. I'm not just there to take their money. We can't just be there to take their money. We have to be there to give them valuable information, valuable products, and make sure the thing that we give them a value is longevity, that is it's abundant and doesn't just stop with you, that it continues through them. This is the spirit of authenticity. See authenticity. People are in belief that authenticity is to be who you are, to the degree, in the sense of like who you became to be. So if you're immature, you're immature. If you're childish, you're childish. If you're always a person that laughs, that laughs. It's true to an extent, but authenticity, the real meaning of authenticity, is to operate in the way and the function that you were created to operate. So that ties to divine revelation, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a blueprint within you. And that blueprint, when you build upon that blueprint, you live a life of success. To be successful has nothing to do with how much money you make. It has everything to do in operating the way God has made you. To live authentically is to operate in a way that God has made you. To be authentic is to be successful. These things are correlated, they're not separated. But these things have divine understanding, right? We live in a society where they always take away God. Like, no, we need to put back God into our spirit. God is the one that is influencing us. He's the one that's giving our vision. I'm telling you a vision, television. In television and modern television, they're giving you a vision. They're giving you a logic. They're giving you a spirit so that you can come to this conclusion. But you need to follow, you should follow, I'm going to say this, which is highly recommended, follow a logic and a conclusion that God designed for you. When you look at the earth, when you look at the cosmos, when you look at the stars, when you look at the whole material of the universe, these things are operating in the way God has made you. We are human beings who choose not to do that. Why? Why would you choose not to operate in the way God made you? God made you to be successful. He made you to step your foot into the dirt. He made you from dirt, but though you're made from dirt, you can reach the skies. You can connect to heaven. Right? So righteousness is the new currency. It's the new, the word currency is a flow. It's a state of flow. It's the state of flow and condition. Right? It ain't really money. It's a flow. It's a flow of currency. It's a flow of currency. And that currency is going to be righteousness. We don't want your dollars. We want righteousness. We want purity first. We want to cleanse ourselves first. When we cleanse ourselves and when we step into whatever field that we want to step into, we want to make sure we're going in with the right intention. This is what we about, man. I'm telling y'all. There's a shift going on. You don't want to miss out on this shift. I don't want y'all to miss out on this shift. And the shift is that we're getting to a point where truth is revealing itself in a slow process. And the truth is you represent truth. And to represent truth truly is to know the truth. And when you know the truth, you can operate in growth. See, I believe in growth and I believe in truth. And when you're growing, you're operating in the truth that God designed you to be in. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I want the best for y'all. I want the best for the human family. Dude, this world is beautiful. I'm telling you, this world is beautiful. It ain't ugly. It's beautiful. There's things that happen, cool, but it's beautiful. We need to start pushing media that shows the world is beautiful, that humans are trustworthy. This idea that we shouldn't trust each other, that's the idea of Satan. You ain't gonna trust the next human brother? That's ungodly. And people justify it through their own experiences. Of course that's gonna happen. That doesn't mean I shouldn't trust nobody. The way I combat the idea is that I trust people to be who they are. I trust you to be who you are. So if you're a thief, you're a thief. I still trust you. I'm not going to say I don't trust you, because what it does, it decays the morality. It decays the spirit. And people are partaking this idea without knowing the harm it does to our psychology. It doesn't protect the intellect. It doesn't preserve us. Wallahi, I feel so blessed just even speaking to y'all about this. Wallahi, Allah has put me in a position to speak to y'all about this. And I thank Allah for that. Because the growth, I never knew I was going to get to this point in my life where I had this type of knowledge. Like I literally knew nothing. If you ask me, I felt like I lived under a rock, which I did. But now that I'm exposed to this knowledge, the thing about being a servant of God, it don't matter how you feel no more. Your feelings and your emotions have nothing to do with the execution, the process, the go through you have to go through. It has nothing to do with it. You just got to go through it. You have to execute. You have to push the message, right? And it's a universal message. It's not just Muslims, though I'm Muslim. It's not just Muslims, but it's Muslims, Jews, Christians, and people that don't even believe in God. We have to learn how to build upon a solid foundation. We have to find a point where we all agree and build upon that agreement. And when we can do that, there's only success. There's only greatness from there on out. If we can do that. And we can. I'm telling you, we can. It takes conversation. It takes openness. It takes understanding. It takes people building the networks and the infrastructure to do so. What infrastructure are you building to get to the position that you want to be in? What type of impact do you want to make into the human family, into the human society? What kind of legacy you want to live? Right? The legacy ain't always got to be tied to wealth or financial wealth. We want financial wealth, though. Let's not get that wrong. We want financial wealth, but let's think about the values and the principles. Let's think about the seeds that we're sowing. Let's not sell our people out just for money. No, that's devilish. It's really devilish. We need to stand on ourselves. We need to love ourselves. We need to be ourselves. All right? I don't even want to get off this live because I feel like I got to keep going. If you're on this live, man, please comment. What's your name? Where y'all from? What type of work y'all do? Protect the intellect society. It's to protect the mind, protect the culture, protect the future, protect the time, yo. Protect the time. I love this, man. I love this. Y'all gonna see me on tour, inshallah ta'ala. We're gonna create networks. We're gonna build networks. We're gonna build infrastructure. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, so if you guys are close, let me know. You know, y'all hear my post with the Al-Quran. See, the thing about the Quran, it's preserved through our salat. Dub Turner, carpenter from Illinois, that's what's up. But listen to you, definitely got something to say for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. I appreciate you for tapping in. I appreciate you for tapping in. I swear I do. If you haven't already, you know I gotta promote myself. Subscribe. Subscribe. You know, we're gonna get to a point where like these ideas, we're gonna put it into the school infrastructure. And the thing is, we gotta make sure whatever we're putting into school, it has to be based on scripture. Has to be based on scripture. Because from an Islamic understanding, you're not educated unless you know the words of God. Right? Even the word education, it comes from the etymology of educare or educare, which means to bring out what's within. We have to bring out what's within, but what's within us? See, this is knowledge itself. How do we know what's within us? Well, I always connect knowledge itself to God consciousness. You won't know yourself without knowing God. Without knowing, if you don't know God, you do not know the position you serve in the universe. And He has put us in a mighty position in the universe. We have a responsibility in this universe. He says, Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. We are khalifas, managers, responsible leaders. That's what He said, we're responsible. God has put this upon us, the human. That was the original nature of Adam. And we inherit what Adam had. So what the responsibility Adam had, our father, we got that too. And we need to take on that responsibility. In order to take on that responsibility, we can't look at responsibility as a burden. Your job is not a burden, it's opportunity. Embrace it. Embrace it, yo. When you start to embrace the the pain and the suffering, guess what? It becomes is where you step into the fire. When you step into that fire, you burn off the impurities, you burn off the characteristics that are low quality and allow yourself to operate at a high level. Come on now. Come on now. I got some brothers up in Illinois, up in Chicago. I went to school with in Iowa. I've been working on stop saying trying to, but I'm going to connect with them. Real intelligent brothers. I don't know if you know about the unity movement over there. The FOI brothers out there, they're doing their thing over there too. I love to see it. Love to see it. But I advocate growth, man. I advocate truth. That's what I advocate for. Human decency, man. We gotta take that back, dog. Take that back, yo. Alright. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's Prolific-Abdullah. I'm the host for New World Television Network. Peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.